This is why you should always tell the truth. Once a young man moved into a new apartment, and there he saw something unbelievably terrifying. Let's just call him James. When James moved in, he got in the elevator and a beautiful woman stepped in after him. They had a great conversation and got off on the same floor. Then James realized that she was his new neighbor. He was so happy about this, but he could have never imagined the horrifying events that are about to happen. He unpacked some of his things and noticed a hole in the wall. He looked through it and realized that he can see his neighbor's room. He watched as she changed and got ready for bed, and soon this became his new habit. But one night things went from creepy to just horrifying. In the middle of the night, James heard loud groaning noises, so he looked into the hole in the wall again. There he saw his neighbor being attacked by a tall man with a dark beard, thin nose, and a scar on his cheek. James saw exactly what the attacker looked like, but the next day when police came to investigate his neighbor's unfortunate passing, James said nothing. He was afraid he'd get caught for spying on his neighbor before, but he would never know what this lie would cost him. Follow for part 2. This is why you should always tell the truth. After James moved into a new apartment, he saw something horrifying. He had met his neighbor who was a beautiful woman. Then after, he found a hole in his wall, so he began spying on her. But one day he saw her getting attacked, and even though he saw the attacker, he didn't say anything when the police came to investigate. This was because he didn't want to get in trouble for spying on his neighbor. But he could have never known that this decision would come back to haunt him. One day, months later, he heard noises coming from his neighbor's apartment, which was strange because it had been empty since the attack happened. So once again, James looked through the hole in the wall. Then he saw something he could never explain. The noises stopped. James' heart was beating loudly. Then he moved back a little, and as his eyes adjusted to the darkness, he saw a wide open eye staring back at him through the hole in the wall. James screamed in horror, but that eye remained still. It kept staring at him until a woman's raspy voice hissed through the wall. "I know you saw."